In the previous lecture, we discussed about Australia. Now New Zealand. New Zealand. So New Zealand lies in Oceania. It is a part of Oceania. It comprises of several islands, and this New Zealand country is a country of very recent origin. These islands of New Zealand got formed during Tertiary period. So these islands are very new. The North Island, South Island, numerous islands are there. Most prominent islands are this Northern Island, Southern Island, and they are separated by Cook's Strait. This is Stewart Island. It is separated from Southern Island by way of Fovex Strait. And the fourth important island is Chatham Island over here. Chatham Island. These are the four islands that make up New Zealand. New Zealand, I told you, is of very recent origin, Tertiary period. These islands of New Zealand got formed during Tertiary period. In Northern Ireland, volcanic activity and earthquakes are very frequent. They are very frequent. In fact, the Northern Ireland, the central part, is studded with numerous volcanic cones, hot springs, geysers, and at the center there is a large lake. At the center there is a lake, Lake Taupo. The central part of Northern Ireland is having these volcanoes are active, hot springs, geysers, earthquakes are very frequent, volcanic activity is there. Central part is studded with numerous volcanic cones, hot springs, geysers, and earthquake is also very common, very frequent in Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland is most densely populated. Out of total population, 75% population of New Zealand lives in Northern Ireland. Southern Ireland, although it is larger than Northern Ireland, accounts for just 25% population. This is so because most of the Southern Ireland is hilly and forested. On Southern Ireland, you find mountain Southern Alps, and the highest peak is Mount Cook. Mount Cook. Since the Southern Ireland are mountainous, hilly, forested, so the Southern Ireland is sparsely populated. Northern Ireland account for bulk of its population. Now, in the north, there is a beautiful city, Rotorua. Rotorua. It is the principal habitat of Aborigines of New Zealand. These Aborigines of New Zealand came from Tahiti in 13th century AD, and Rotorua is also famous for hot springs and geysers. See, I told you geothermal energy, Iceland is the largest producer of geothermal energy because it lies on mid-Atlantic ridge. New Zealand comes second in terms of geothermal energy. Almost entire electricity of New Zealand is accounted by geothermal energy and hydroelectricity. Rotorua is a town that is famous for hot springs and geysers. Now, if you see, open up the map of Australia and New Zealand, then you will find to the east, you see this is Australia. Along the eastern coast of Australia, there is East Australian Current. East Australian Current. Under the impact of westerlies, it turns eastward, and this East Australian Current turns eastward, and it becomes South Pacific Current. And this current causes heavy rainfall on the western part of New Zealand. Since eastern part of New Zealand lies in the leeward side of volcanic cones in the north, and in Southern Alps is having steep edge towards west, and it gently slopes towards east. So what happens because of these westerlies? This western part of New Zealand receives copious rainfall. As it receives copious rainfall, western part of New Zealand is famous for dairy farming, and eastern part, which lies on the leeward side, eastern regions are famous for sheep rearing. They are famous for sheep rearing because sheep require arid climate and milk kettles require cool, humid climate. New Zealand is having the distinction of having the most suitable climate for milk kettles. Temperate, cool, humid climate. See New Zealand, it is an island surrounded by water bodies on all sides. It is having oceanic climate. Oceanic. Since it is surrounded by water bodies on all sides, maritime influence is there. And as a result of maritime influence, the extremes are avoided. Temperature range is very low because throughout the year it receives rainfall. Mostly it is surrounded by ocean. It is having oceanic climate, maritime climate. So because of moisture, the extremes are avoided and there is little temperature difference. Precisely, it is having cool, temperate, humid climate. So which is ideally suited for milk kettles. This humidity is more in the western part and eastern part is dry. So sheep rearing is important in the eastern part. Now what we see in New Zealand, if you see as you move southward, you move towards poles, temperature goes on decreasing as we move southward. But rainfall goes on increasing as we move southward, and as we move east to west, rainfall goes on increasing. So this was the climate, about the climate of New Zealand. In terms of population, if you see 80% population of New Zealand is English and 13.8% is Aborigines. Aborigines. Original inhabitant. Maoris. They are known as Maori. Basically, they came from Tahiti in 13th century AD and got settled over here. And these Maoris are known as Aborigines. They are the Aborigines, original inhabitant. 80% population is English, 100% literacy. Literacy rate is very high. Urbanization rate is also very high. Auckland happens to be the largest city. Now, let us discuss some other aspects. This is known as Auckland Peninsula. This is having Mediterranean climate. So it is very suitable for citrus fruits like oranges, lemons, and grapes. I told you Mediterranean climate is characterized by two layered vegetation, trees and shrubs. Grasses are absent. There's only why grasses are absent. I told you Mediterranean climate is characterized by wet winters and dry summer. Since summers are dry, so grasses having short root, they cannot survive. So grasses are not found. So dairy farming is not important. But in Auckland Peninsula, because of this maritime influence, despite having Mediterranean climate, dairy farming happens to be a very important activity. It's the only place in the world where Mediterranean climate is having dairy farming. Otherwise, Mediterranean climate does not have dairy farming because it is such a climate where the vegetation has developed sclerophyll characteristics, sclerophyll, to withstand the aridity of summertime. Summers are dry and short grasses having short roots, they cannot survive. But here, because of maritime influence, despite Mediterranean climate, dairy farming is very important activity. Very important dairy farming region. And here the largest city of Auckland, largest city of New Zealand, Auckland is also located. Now if you see, there are certain important rivers, like the longest river of New Zealand, that is Waikato. Then another important river of New Zealand, Wanganui. And the largest voluminous river, River Clutha. It is the largest, most volume. Now I told you the middle part, the central part of Northern Ireland is studded with various volcanoes. Lake Taipo is also there, various volcanoes and geysers and hot springs are there, isn't it? In the southwestern part, this region of New Zealand is known as Tara Taranaki plain. It has the distinction of highest density of milch cows in the world. It is having the highest density of milch cows. Dairy farming, very important. Fertile soil, adequate rainfall of the fertile volcanic soil of Taranaki plain, adequate rainfall has enabled it to become the world's most important dairy farming region. Now, if you see in Northern Ireland, let us enlarge it. Northern Ireland. I told you this is Waikato, this is Lake, this is Waikato, this is Lake Lake Taupo, this is Wanganui River, Waikato River, this is Auckland, largest city of New Zealand. On Waikato River, the third largest city of New Zealand, that is Hamilton, is located. Hamilton. In north, I told you there's a very important city, Rotorua, that is famous for hot springs and geysers. And most of the Maoris live in villages around Rotorua, and these Maoris are engaged in farming and fishing. And these Maoris are living in villages, and Rotorua happened to be the most important urban settlement of these Maoris, original inhabitants. Now, you see this region, I told you, this is known as Taranaki plain, that is having highest density of milch cows. This region is Taranaki plain. Famous for milk cow. Here the chief city is New Plymouth, important dairying settlement. Here at the mouth of Wanganui River, there is a city Wanganui, again important for dairy farming. Here there is a place near Havera, world's largest milk products producing plant is located. World's largest world's largest milk products, that is dairy ingredients, milk products producing plant is there near Havera. So New Plymouth is the largest settlement of Taranaki region. It is the most important dairy farming settlement. Havera is important. Near Havera, world's largest plant is there. Wanganui is famous for dairy products. And then Palmerston, again famous for dairy products. I told you on the western side rainfall is heavy because this numerous volcanic cones, they act as an orographic barrier for westerly winds and cause rainfall on the west. The eastern part, this bay is known as Hawke's Bay, and this region is known as Hawke's Bay region. It is known for award-winning wines, wine-making center, famous for award-winning wines. This Hawke's Bay region is having two parts. One is hilly region, hilly part, and second is plain. In hilly regions, this Hawke's Bay region, there are two parts. One is hilly. On hilly region, sheep rearing is very important. And on plains, in the plain part of this Hawke's Bay region, here horticulture, orchards and wine yards are important. In Hawke's Bay region, some part is hilly. In hilly region, sheep rearing is very important. In that part which is plain, here horticulture, vineyards and orchards are located. The principal city and principal port of this region is Napier, and near it lies a smaller city, slightly smaller, known as Hastings. Napier is the largest port and largest city on this bay, and second is Hastings. The capital of New Zealand is located here on the coast, Wellington. So this is all about Northern Ireland. In Northern Ireland, Taranaki Plain, Auckland Peninsula famous for dairy farming, and this New Plymouth, largest settlement, most important dairy farming center, and then this near Havera, largest milk plant, Wanganui, milk product center, Palmerston. This is Palmerston, Palmerston, important dairy farming product center. Now, let us come on to Southern Hemisphere. Southern Hemisphere. If you come to Southern Hemisphere, in Southern Hemisphere, I told you, in Northern Hemisphere, Taranaki Plain and Auckland Peninsula on the west were important for dairy farming. In Southern Hemisphere, there is a place, Nelson City. Nelson and west coastal part is important for dairying. I told you dairy milk cattle require wet climate, sheep require dry climate. If you, in descending order, if you see, buffaloes require very humid climate. Then less than that, cow. Still less than that, goat. Still less than that, sheep. Still less than that, camel. This is the sequence, decreasing amount of water required. This is the sequence. So buffaloes and cows are found in those areas which are wet. Goat, sheep and goat is found in intermediate climate with neither very wet nor very dry. Sheep and camels are found in arid areas. This Nelson and prominent dairy farming center and this west coastal plain are important for dairy farming. In middle you have Southern Alps. Southern Alps are higher than volcanoes of Northern Ireland. Mount Cook, highest peak. On the eastern side lies the most important plains, largest stretch of temperate grassland in New Zealand. This is known as Canterbury Plains, and this protruding landmass is known as Bank Peninsula. This eastern region is known as downland. So Canterbury Plain plus